episode 3 of the Be Good Media podcast. Happy Monday to you all. Hope everyone's having a good start to the week. Busy weekend. Nothing too exciting. Had Earl's birthday. Yeah, I'm straight back into the swing of things today. It's a bit slower than normal for a Monday, which is good. Tomorrow I'm probably going to be in a foul mood because United are versus Liverpool early doors, and it's not looking good for the Red Devils. But yeah, good day. Lots of content kind of consumed. Been on a bit of a Gary V binge recently, which has been good. Something he said in one of his videos today was that perfection is just another word for insecurity. I think we're here trying to build this platform, this health, this men's health and wellness platform, and a bit of us, I don't know, I suppose in a way we're consuming a lot of content and we're doing a lot of research, and we're just trying to really make sure that we understand perfectly what it is we're talking about. In every context. It's not just you hear one thing and you take that as gospel. It's you hear one thing, it resonates or it doesn't, and then you dig, and then you get other takes, other perspectives, other views on certain topics. And I suppose you've got what you kind of fundamentally believe, and then you delve into that and you unpack it. So I think that's really important. Context and perspective. But back to perfection, like perfection is, in a way, it is insecurity, because you don't want to release something that isn't perfect. But what is perfect at the end of the day? The whole point of this podcast, it's not polished. It's not pretty at all. But what it is documenting the journey, because by doing this, we can really bring value, not just to ourselves, but also then in turn looking back to people around us. So one, we can obviously fine tune what it is that we actually want to say by saying it over and over and over and over again in different ways, in different contexts. That actually helps for you to actually define what it is that you are trying to say directly. And at the same token, 3, 4, 5 years, however long down the track, if we achieve the things we want to achieve, you can always look back and show someone else, look, this is where we started. This is how we did it. And it's the blueprint effectively from there. So I think we're at a point now where it's about creating quality, creating stuff based on the knowledge we currently have, putting it to market and just seeing what sticks, seeing what resonates. Because what works for one won't work for all. And people relate to different things in different ways. Context and perspective is everything. So, like in anything in life, you're presented with a challenge or a question or whatever, and ideally you have the proper context behind it before you reply, you make a decision or whatever it may be. It can be anything. But based on what's said, the way it's said to you, and all those type of things, you obviously have your perspective on that subject. Having your perspective basically comes from your experiences to date, the things that you've experienced, the things that you've been taught, the things that you've seen from others. All of that holistically gives you your perception, your perspective of a certain situation. And then, of course, you've got to apply the context to it to understand the situation in total, and then you can make a more informed or less ill-judged kind of opinion or perspective thereafter. So I think context, for me, context is very important whenever I approach anything in life, because I like to always, as people, something gets presented to you and we always have an emotional reaction, whatever that may be. It doesn't matter, what it is. We have an emotional reaction, and if we've done some work on our context, our beliefs, our thought, if we've done some real internal work on who we are and what we stand for, what we believe in, normally our initial emotional reaction isn't too far from where we would land after the emotional reaction is the logical reaction, and normally thereafter if we've done some real work internally, we we don't land too far from where we initially were when we first had that reaction. So I think it's really important to really take some time and understand who you are, and and not judge yourself for it. We are a makeup of all, our life experience, what we were taught from our parents, what we've seen out in the world, and then obviously the things that have happened to us. So those three things combined effectively shape our view on the world. So when something happens and we have a view or an opinion on it, it's only based off those experiences. Now, if those don't serve you, you could do some work around it, change your perspective. Understand the context and change the perspective. And I think that's a really important kind of, internal thing to have, because your emotional reaction at times can really tarnish a relationship if you then don't have, the bollocks to go and, amend or atone for whatever. If you've offended someone with your initial reaction, your job is to then apologize and get them to understand that this is it, this is why, and then those moments are really what you base your future perspective off as well. Yeah, it was an interesting one. I was I've been in a Gary Vee rabbit hole today, and it's been good because it's real positive. These the whole micro macro, the whole candor and all the rest of it. He's definitely an interesting figure, and he's one if you're not really across Gary Vaynerchuk, he's definitely one I recommend kind of delving into. His mindset, he's crazy. His mindset and his perspective is really different, and it's gratitude is a big thing for him, and it's something that I really have struggled with in my life, gratitude. But over this last 8 to 12 months, it's something that I've really, really started to tap into on a different level, and really start to be a lot more grateful for the things that I do have in my life rather than looking at the things that I don't have yet, and understand that it's okay to have ambitions past where you currently are. But, as long as you do the work, that all comes in good time. So it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy where you are now, or, the little things, the little moments. I think they are important, and it's definitely something I've done a lot of work on over the last little bit. I also saw a really cool video today around coaching. We've obviously done our accreditation. We're accredited life coaches effectively, and coaching is amazing. Coaching can be life-changing, and I think it's personal development, whether it's in this country or just in and around where I was brought up, isn't sexy, isn't really something that is seen as good or positive or maybe necessary. But as we go through life, and life isn't easy at times. There's definitely struggles. It can come in all forms in life. You really need to do some internal work about understanding it and dealing with it, accepting it, processing it, and just moving forward. And I think we've really built a strong foundation and framework for a coaching course that a one-to-one coaching course where we can really help people to kind of just accept where they are in this life, get them to understand that although it's not where they want to be, it's okay where they are, and then to really give them that push to go, all right, so what are the next steps and how do we implement them? And then just move forward that way. The video I watched today really spoke about a lot of coaches like to dwell in the past, and they kind of stay stuck in that moment. And although digging up the past comes back to context, gives you the right context of where your head is, why you're in this position, how you got yourself in a position where you aren't kind of happy or fulfilled, or you aren't where you want to be. So understanding the past is a massive part, but then staying there is the issue. For us, we're all about moving forward. We're all about, we understand where we are. We know what's got us there. Let's change our habits. Let's make a blueprint. Let's go forward. yeah, and put together those steps. And some of them are hard, don't get me wrong. Moving forward can be hard. Letting go of comfort, even if that comfort isn't serving you, is difficult, and we understand that. But the alternative is you stay stuck forever and you live this life until you die, and then you're done. What we really need to do is move forward. And that's the real key part for me, is understanding your future, understanding where it is you want to go, mapping out a clear path, and then taking the fucking action to get us there. Again, back to perfection, right? A lot of people don't move because it's not the perfect image. No. You've got to walk before you can, crawl before you can walk before you run, so on and so forth. So it's about the 1%ers. It's about changing one habit today and doing that consistently over time. Over time, that compounds, and the bigger picture gets clearer. So yeah, so that was my key takeaway. That's where my head is at the moment. We're doing a lot of work on building this platform out. A lot of this stuff is going to be in that. And just really looking forward to what the next few months brings. Jag Media Podcast, we shot our latest podcast on the weekend, which is very, very, very exciting. We it's been a couple of months, but we're back, and we're really looking for people to come on board, to come in and just sit with us and share a lesson or give us a story we can maybe dig deeper into, and just kind of to really give not just that person but the viewers as well some really, really good insight into the mind. With wins or with its lessons, or whether they need to unlock something within themselves. Coming on, having that space where they can be comfortable, we can ask the right questions and kind of move them to a place where they can move forward, or we can use that lesson and teach it in our own teachings. I think is really important. So if anyone out there, if you've got through this 12 minutes, if anyone's out there who wants to come on, we'd love to have you on. So be good. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow.